Okay, now that you see that I've got the arms fully built, I've chosen to put the ESCs on the outside of the arm so that I have a little more room inside. And I've got the speed controller, the flight controller, mounted to the top board. And I've got the standoffs already installed on the bottom plate and nutted down. That's the easy part. Now, because I'm putting the ESCs on the inside, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bottom plate through, and I'm going to make sure that the tabs and slots go together. And I'm going to take some Velcro, and I'm going to Velcro these ESCs down to the plates. This will do two things. It'll help my ESCs from moving around in flight, but for now, temporarily, it'll help hold my bottom plate to my arm. So if you notice, if you don't do something like this, the bottom plate keeps falling off on you. So let's get these tied up. Yep. See, the bottom plate just falls right off there. Get these cinched down nice and tight. Put the wires on the inside there. And we'll do that with the other side as well. Put the arms through the holes, standoffs through the holes, making sure that you get the tabs through the bottom plate. And let's Velcro this in so that the bottom plate doesn't fall. Several ways you can do this. This is just one way I found easy. And I'm going to tie down the ESCs anyways. Let's tighten this one up a little more. Okay, there we go. Now all the wires are in the middle. And we can put the top plate on. Or, at this point, you can either mount the top plate on and put the wiring harness inside afterwards, or you can take the wiring harness now, hook up all the reds and blacks while you have the access. And that's what I think I'm going to do. So we'll take all the blacks, negatives, plug all those in. And let's grab the positives at this time too. Make sure the servo ESC speed wires are out of the way. Now at this point, a lot of people would suggest that you cover all these connection points with tape, some kind of either electrical tape, or you put an extra piece of shrink wrap tubing over it, just so these connections don't touch each other inside. But for sake of time, what we're going to do is we're just going to wrap this around a little bit. You notice on the end of this wiring harness there's the connector, the Dean's connector for the battery, and there's the connector, power connector for the flight controller. So we're just going to wrap this up a little bit. Put the power connector down through the bottom of the chassis and make sure the Dean or the flight controller power can come up through the top. And we're going to put another piece of Velcro over this big chunk of wires. And there goes my other leg. Okay. There goes both legs. Okay. Now that we got this semi done, we're going to put the top plate on. And we're going to put the two ESC wires through the hole that's right here on the plate. And you notice it goes all the way through to where the ESCs plug in. And while we're here, I'm going to grab the power cable and I'm going to run that up and through as well. Now that I have the cables all exposed, I can push the top plate down, make sure it's gotten through the tabs, and I'm going to screw the top plate down with the nylon screws that are already in place. Okay, and there you go. We got the top plate and the bottom plate now mounted together. We have the ESCs all in there and tight. We have the wires and the arms nice and tight. We have the power wire for the battery, which will go right here nice and tight. If you notice again, these frame, the bottom plate has these indentations right here, which will hold the Velcro as you strap the battery on. Now the next step is going to the wiki, finding out how to configure your flight controller for a quadcopter, and where to plug in your motors and where to plug in your power. Configure through the USB port and you're ready to fly the Hurricane frame.